All right, what is up, guys? This is Inside the LPGA podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether you are watching, whether you are listening. I'm just happy you are here. My name is Hope Barnett. I am a host and reporter for the LPGA Tour. And look who we have here. Look who we have every single week. We got Adam Stanley and we got Emma Talley. Guys, what is going on? We are in your homeland, Adam. We are in Canada.
It's a big week. This is a very exciting week. Obviously, it's the 50th playing of the CPKC Women's Open here in Calgary. Hasn't been in Calgary for almost a decade now, so it's nice to be back out here in Alberta. Big tournament. Obviously, big stretch of tournaments, as Emma can attest, just on the LPGA Tour with respect to majors and the Olympics and et cetera and et cetera. And we'll get more into the field for this week later on. But it's a national open. It's a big week. It's a big tournament. I'm so happy to be here and be on site. And it's gonna be great. Record ticket sales already, from what I heard. So the crowds out in Calgary should be amazing the next couple days.
Awesome. Emma, what is going on? I know you are in Canada. Like Adam said, it's been a little crazy stretch, especially for you, but what is going on? Do you feel rested right now? Because I would assume it's a no.
No, I do not feel rested. Tour life is a grind. And yesterday, so 2 days ago, I finished my round roughly around like 2:30-ish in Toledo, Ohio. Got myself a little top 30. Haven't made a cut on the LPGA in like a year. So what up?
Top 30, let's go.
Let's go.
And then I quickly got on a flight. Didn't get here until like 12:30, which would have been like 2:30 where I came from. And then I had to wake up and do a quick little Monday qualifier yesterday. It did not go well, but that golf course, I'm sure there's some Canadians listening to this because of Adam. The Mickelson National Golf Club is something else. It's very difficult. It was so hard, especially never seeing the golf course, and was blowing like the British Open. So it took over 6 hours to play. It was absolutely insane, but I'm excited to be first alternate this week. So fingers crossed I get in. I will be going and walking the golf course today, getting a feel for the greens, and I'm excited to be here. Canada always does such a great job with their golf tournament, and we could go on and on and on about Canada, but they always bring the fans. The golf courses we play are always immaculate. The food's always wonderful in player dining. Like, there's just so many great things. I saw that the player gift this week is a beautiful bracelet. Like, they just know how to run a golf tournament. I know. I'm like, please get into the tournament. I really want one.
I want that bracelet.
Seriously, that is player gifts. That's a thing. Like, you're like,
yeah.
You don't play a tournament and you see the player gift and you're like, dang it, I should have played. So, Canada just knows how to run a golf tournament. So I'm very hopeful that I get into the field, but if not, I'll be doing some media. I'm emceeing the Pro-Am party tonight, so
nice.
Might have to hop on with the call with you guys later for some tips, but excited for that.
You don't need any tips, Emma. You're gonna do great, and yes, definitely fingers crossed, because I want to see you tee it up this week. I'm gonna
great ball finish out last if week. I do play, because my game's really good right now. So like, watch out, Lauren, and watch out, all you girls. Allie, you know who you are. You know who to get out of the way.
I'm coming for you.
Love it. Well, speaking of Lauren, we are going to catch up with her in a little bit, but for all of you tuning in right now, I just want to give a little preview of what we are going to talk about, because there's a lot to go over. Obviously, like you just mentioned, Emma, the Dana Open just finished, and it was a really, really good finish. And we haven't caught up since the Amundi Evian Championship, the last major. So yeah, we have stuff to talk about. The Olympics are coming up. Solheim is getting closer and closer, but we will all get into that in a minute. But Adam, since we are in your place, your homeland.
My place. Yeah.
Your place. This is Adam's place.
Canada.
For the listeners and viewers, we are very far from where I live right now. Just FYI, it's all. I know it's all under the same Canadian umbrella right now, but I am very far from my home. That said, heck yeah, okay, baby. Emma's rendition of the first couple lines of the Natty Anthem. Yeah. Yes, but we've got hope, like you said. We've got a tremendous interview this week. I mean, obviously, we're trying to make sure that make sure that we've got well-timed, well-topical interviews with people that are playing well, that've got a good story to tell. And Lauren Coughlin is coming in hot this week. 2 top 10 finishes in her last 4 tournaments, including 4th place at the Amundi Evian Championship. So, without further ado, here is our conversation with Lauren Coughlin.
All right. Thank you so much, Lauren, for joining us, everyone. This is Lauren Coughlin. You already know who she is, but we had to get her on the pod because you have been killing it. But first and foremost, you're in Canada. So how is it going over there?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a little hot this week, but the course is really in really good shape, and yeah, enjoying being in Calgary for the first time.
Awesome. I'm just going to brag about you for a second, okay? Because I'm sure you are reluctant to brag about yourself, but don't worry. I will do it. We will do it on Inside the LPGA podcast. You've had 4 top 10s this season, 2 of them in majors, and you just played so well at the Amundi Evian Championship. Lauren, you're having the year of your life right now in golf. Can you just kind of talk to me about it and what's been going on and what's this year been like for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I've been working really hard on a lot of different things, mainly my putting, especially towards the beginning of this year. That's kind of always been something that's held me back a little bit. And yeah, I didn't make the cut at Saudi when I played right before the Asian swing, and that I started doing this drill that my assistant coach in college had been trying to get me to do for a really long time, and I was a little too stubborn to do it, and I wasn't very good at it in the beginning, and so I was like, no, I don't need to do this. But I finally started doing it, and it's kind of transformed my putting, and basically I've just gotten really good at speed control, and ever since then, yeah, I started making a few putts, and my confidence has just gone up and up and up since then. But yeah, I think that's been the main difference. But it's been a lot of fun.
Emma, I see you're raising your hand.
Are you going to share this drill with people, or like is it a hidden drill that you're not allowed to tell anyone?
No, I'm sure they would love, for me to tell you. Yeah, it's just basically it's just like making a certain stroke for a 10-footer, a 20-footer, a 30-footer, and just like you would for wedges. And just like once they said it like that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I go and I have a swing feel for 70 yards or 80 yards, and then I kind of go in between from there to kind of get it to go. And I was like, I've never really thought of like that putting is kind of the same way, just creating a baseline and then being able to go with feel from there.
That's
interesting.
So cool.
I have heard that before.
Emma's taking serious notes right now. Emma's like, file.
Yeah, tell me more.
But yeah, no, it's been, that's, I think, a big thing. And then just getting in some of those moments, of putting myself in contention and things like that. I've been fortunate to do it a couple times, in the last couple years. And I think I just learned a bunch from how I reacted in those positions before, and just, really trying to take stock and do better than I did last time.
Yeah. Emma, imagine if you asked and she was like, absolutely not, I'm not sharing with you.
Sometimes
this is my
you get that.
superpower.
No.
I would have been like, I love it. Love the drama. No, but I actually want to talk about the hot topic right now, I feel like, in your life. And that is the fact that your husband has been able to join you out on tour. I know so many people have asked you questions about it, but I think it's just so fun to be able to see you guys out there, even when he's not caddying for you. And I know that it's not going to be a full-time job. He's not going to be on your bag full-time, even though I'm kind of cheering for it, but it's okay. But I just want to point out that the 2, or at least 2 times he's been on your bag, was at Chevron and at Evian, where you had top 5 finishes. So how fun is it to go on this journey with him now and for him to join you out on tour?
Yeah, he kind of posed it to me about August of last year. He was like, what would you think about me quitting my job and, coming out with you full time? And at first I was like pretty hesitant, single income. The main reason was like losing the health insurance, was a big thing because he worked for the University of Virginia, and so he was a state employee, and so he got really good health insurance. That was kind of, a big enough reason for, at least at the time to be like, maybe we should really talk about this. And yeah, I mean, just, the points that he kept making, just, we're only in this position for such a short amount of time. Like, how cool would it to be able to go travel the world together and get to experience all these things together? And eventually I was like, it makes a lot of sense. And it'd be really cool to get to do a lot of these, go to all these different countries and play in all these different tournaments and, not be apart for as much as we have to be at certain times. So yeah, no, it's been awesome. We've gotten to go to a lot of cool different places this year. We went to Thailand, Singapore for the first time. And then obviously had the experiences at Chevron and Amundi Evian together. But yeah, no, the working together was always kind of something that I was like, I don't know if I could do that just because I don't want everything to be about my golf all the time. I need just a little bit of separation, just because I value our relationship and my marriage more so than anything else. and so,
Fair enough.
yeah. So I know that's the hot topic for sure, but
I know. It's like I had to ask, so.
of course. I mean, everybody says it. I know. I'm expecting it.
When did you know that golf was going to be, the thing that you were going to try to make a life out of, make a career out of? Was there a singular moment? Was there a collection of moments? When did you know about golf as the thing you wanted to make your life out of?
I would say not until my 5th year at University of Virginia. As I walked on at Virginia, I wasn't on scholarship. I wasn't very highly recruited. I redshirted my first year.
I didn't know that.
And so my 5th year, I was an All-American and ACC Player of the Year, and I guess I was like, I guess I need to go actually try to play professionally and like see how good I can get. But it wasn't until that 5th year when I started, contending in some college tournaments, and then eventually won the ACC Individual Championship, and then won ACC Player of the Year. And after all that, I was like, okay, I guess I really need to kind of go give it a shot and see how far I can go.
Love that.
I think it's one thing that I know about you that some people may not know about you is your coach. I think it's an interesting story because, as I know, he's a baseball coach. He is not a golf coach, and he is the husband of your college coach. Just explain to the people how that happened, how that relationship has developed over time, and really, like, how is he your golf coach when he doesn't even do that?
So he's actually a priest as well.
What? Who is this guy?
He married John and I. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, so he married John and I. But yeah, he's a priest. I think Episcopalian priest. So not practicing anymore. But yeah, so in college, Kim Llewellyn was my college coach, and she became my swing coach in college. And after I graduated, I saw someone a little bit here and there, but then, if I ever really needed anything, I would send her a video. And then eventually I would send her a video, and then John would text me. Llewellyn would text me. So then eventually I just kind of started just going straight to him.
Oh my God.
And just completely cutting out Kim, just because, she's now the head coach at Wake Forest, so she's obviously very busy. And I think what I didn't know is they're a team, right? They collaborate on a lot of things, especially the golf swing. Like when they go do things, they kind of usually go together. And he loves the golf swing, and he loves teaching, and he loves helping. And so, yeah, I think even in college, I think he was much more behind the scenes, and I just didn't know it, just because he was staying at home with their 2 sons. And now, once they became old enough, he started to come out a lot more. Like, he's at the Wake facility like every day, and he kind of is like the unofficial like assistant coach at the Wake team. And yeah, so that's kind of how it started. It was just like I would send videos to Kim, and then eventually he started responding. And so then I was like, okay, I'll just start going to John, I guess.
That's awesome.
And then yeah, but no, he's the best. He's I wouldn't be where I am today probably without his help and his guidance, and just pushing me and always being there for me whenever I need anything.
Yeah. Totally. I think that's such a cool story. And I also just think it's really cool that you've put your faith in someone that you trust. Because I think as a professional golfer, sometimes we just do what everyone else around us is doing and go to the famous coach and do what everyone else is doing. And you continue to do things that are working. And I
Yeah.
really respect that about you. And it's paid off, obviously. So it's really cool from a friend perspective to watch it all come together. Speaking of team, you and your husband went to St. Andrews last year. At least I saw a picture. Did you play the golf course? And obviously John's an athlete himself.
Hmm.
Is he any good at golf? Tell me about St. Andrews. Are you excited about going back? And yeah, how has it been seeing him as a caddy? Is he enjoying this new role himself, caddying for Gina? And um, yeah, tell us that side of your life.
Yeah, so it was 2 years ago. So I missed the cut at Muirfield, and John had all he had been talking about the whole trip, because he came over for the Scottish and the British that year, was getting to play the old course.
Aw.
And so I played in the Saturday Pro-Am at the Renaissance, and Bree Doe texted me and was like, "Hey, I have another spot. I have a friend who got us a tee time. There's one more spot." And so since I had played the
awesome.
Renaissance in the morning, I was like, "Listen, I'm gonna be like just so whipped. So John, you can play. I'll just walk and I'll just come and have fun."
Aw,
And
what a good life.
and so I was like, listen, like after like 9 holes, I'm just gonna be so tired. I'm gonna be miserable, and I don't want to the first time I play the old course to be like wanting it to be over.
For
And so I
sure.
was like, I'll have just as much fun just walking and seeing it, and like you will have so much more fun than I would going to play it. So I let him play it
That's
instead. So I've been over
awesome.
there. Yeah, and he had a blast. He shot like the round of his life and shot like 81 or 82.
That's
Amazing.
amazing. So does he ever beat you?
Aw.
Like, is he a good golfer?
He is, I mean, for the average golfer, yeah, he's a pretty good golfer. He's probably like a 12, 13 handicap right now. But no, he's never beat me. It's like his life goal to beat me in golf one day. And I'm just like, listen, you're better than me at like a lot of things, but you're never going to beat me in golf.
You're like, let me have this,
Mic
okay?
drop. I'm the athlete in this family.
Exactly.
Um, we have
But
to.
to answer your other question, sorry,
You're good.
he loves caddying, like absolutely loves it. He's having a
Aw.
blast with Gina. He's loving, hanging out with all the caddies afterwards, like DT. I hope you're,
Yep.
and George and Hads and David, like just absolute. I think it's kind of taking place of like his locker room, right? Because he played football in college, and he
Totally.
misses that like camaraderie and the just going and hanging with the boys and chatting and talking shop. Like he is loving it.
That's awesome. Um, we have to talk about this. I know it's not official, and I know that it's been a dream of yours all year, and you've been talking about it for the whole year. Solheim Cup. You are number 6 on the list, and 7 get automatically in. I know that there's a couple more weeks out here on tour before Captain Stacy picks her picks and everything is solidified. But just tell us about the possibility of being on the Solheim Cup team with the year you've had. How has this changed your life? I mean, I know the Solheim Cup is going to be an hour away from where you guys live, which is absolutely
Hmm.
incredible. You're going to have so many fans. I can't even imagine. I am going to be right beside you the whole way, filming everything you're doing. Tell me just how amazing this dream come true moment could be in a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's still 4 more weeks, so anything could happen. But yeah, it's been my goal all year, really, pretty much since the Solheim Cup last year. I was like, you know what? I think I didn't realize that I was even somewhat on the radar towards the end of last year, leading up to like Canada and going over to Spain. And when I kind of found out like that I was, I think at least on the back of like their mind a little bit, I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. And but then I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, like I think if I start playing how I think I can, then yeah, I should absolutely be on next year's Solheim Cup team. It's an
Oh.
hour from where I live. Like, it'd be incredible. It'd be incredible. It's my home state, and it would just be a huge honor to not only represent the U.S. but the state of Virginia as
You're gonna
well.
make me cry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited. I mean, at this point, I'm not really thinking about making the team anymore. I'm trying to think about, I'm thinking about trying to win points is kind of what I'm thinking about now, and making sure I'm prepared as I can, both in terms of my game, but also like mentally, because I've already been thinking about probably how nervous I'm going to be on that first tee. Just like little things like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm so excited. And
And you and T-Mac went and played the
yeah,
golf
I just can't
course
wait.
last week, was it?
Yeah, so T-Mac came up, Terry McNamara came up, my caddy, and we went and I introduced him to Bob Rotella. He had never met him, so we went and hung out with Dr. Bob for like an hour, and then on Thursday we drove up and played the
Awesome.
course. So, I mean, it'll be his 10th Solheim, but only his second one for the
That's
U.S.
crazy.
So,
Okay, now
yeah.
since we've talked about dreams, you've had an amazing year. I would say just from your college story and then your 5th year of being ACC Player of the Year and just kind of your golf career as a whole, what would your 15-year-old self be telling yourself right now? Can you believe that you have done it? Like you've done it. If golf ended today, you would be like, I did it.
No.
Um, yeah. Would you even
Yeah,
believe
no,
it?
I don't think so at all. I mean, I think no, not at all. I mean, even like if you would have told me this like probably 4 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, no way. I was my first couple years out was really hard. Didn't really make any cuts. Didn't, almost quit after each of my first 2 years. But the Llewellyns and my husband, and my family, kept me going. They believed in me a lot more than I did, especially at the time. And yeah, it's pretty crazy that I'm having the year that I'm having, and I think I'm still getting better, and I think I still have room in certain areas to get better, which is also exciting.
Totally. Okay, well, my sponsor, ServPro, has stepped up in a big way with this podcast.
Yes, they have, and that is because in golf, when bad shots happen, there's the mulligan ball. When fire, water, or other damage happens, there's what? What is there, Emma?
There's ServPro! Thankfully, they know how to make it like it never even happened. So with that, I know I've had plenty of mulligans I would like to take, and that's where our question to you is, if you had one mulligan in life or in golf, what are you taking it for?
Okay, it's really easy. I wish I would have hit it a little bit further left on 16 at Evian.
This year?
Fair enough.
This year, yeah, I think if I could have one back recently, it would be like, I wish I could hit it just about a yard left on Evian, 16 at Evian, because I think I might have gone in the hole if I would have done that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair.
There you go. Mulligan.
Easy answer. Adam, take it away.
Lauren, another thing that we usually do, we do a Instagram investigation. So we take a little dive into the social media and try to find a nice one from back in the day. And we found a beauty on your Instagram. Coach hit me in the head with a golf ball, and that day I found out that golf can be a dangerous sport. So there it is. Can you please tell the beloved listeners and viewers what the heck happened in that photo?
So
I want to know.
So this was I believe it was my 3rd year in college, and I was out. It was either my 3rd or my 4th year. No, it was my 3rd year because it was the day before my 21st birthday.
2014, it says.
Yeah, it was the day before my 21st birthday. And so I was just out hitting some bunker shots on the golf course with Coach Kim. And if you know Coach Kim, like she cannot throw anything. And so like the fact that she ended up, she was throwing the ball back to me. She was probably about 40 yards away from me, like throwing the ball back just in the bunker, just trying to get it back in the bunker so I could hit another one. And I didn't have a hat on. And all of a sudden I like look up and it hit me right square in the middle of the top of the forehead.
She threw it that hard?
Yeah,
Yeah, she's got an arm.
But if she literally couldn't hit me if she tried. Like
Right.
if I would have given her like 100 other balls, like she would not have ever hit me again.
I thought you meant like hit with the golf club.
No, she threw it at me from about probably
Oh
like
my
30, 40
God.
yards away. And it was more just like in the general direction. Again, she was just trying to get it in the bunker so I could hit another shot. And it hit me just
What an
square.
arm.
And-
It is square on that forehead.
Yeah,
it's like
right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, and so we go in, pretty much immediately from that, we go into the parking lot, and my assistant coach comes up with a golf cart, and he's probably 50 yards away from me, and he sees me, and he just starts busting out laughing. And later that day, he sent me like a unicorn, like picture of a unicorn, because I was like right on the
Stop.
And then, so the best part is then I had to go the day before, she had to go do like concussion protocol, like a meeting on concussion. And she's like, I mean, I'm never going to have to go do anything like that. It's golf, like whatever.
Like, we're
And sure
fine.
enough, I had to go take a concussion test afterwards. And then I had like a test like in my like hardest class, like an hour later from that.
Oh my God. That is so funny.
Yeah.
That's a
Unreal.
goodie.
What a story.
Classic.
That's a throwback. We love it.
Yeah.
Lauren, thank you so much for doing this with us. We appreciate the time. Obviously, you've had a tremendous run so far in 2024. We have the fingers crossed for the Solheim Cup. Good luck this week at the CPKC Women's Open as well. Thank you again for the time, and congratulations on all your success to this point, and we can't wait to see more to come. Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you guys.
Woo!
Thanks for having me.
Go, Lauren. Thank you. Good luck this week.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you so much to Lauren for catching up with us. I can't wait to see her tee it up this week. And as we've already spoke about, she has been playing some really, really good golf. And that kind of leads me back to Evian. Like I said, we have not caught up since then. And that was a crazy week. At one point, I was absolutely certain that Lauren was going to win. And then at one point, I was absolutely certain that Stephanie Kiriakou was going to win. And then Ayaka, and then Patty, like, at every single point, I was like, who is going to get this done? I had no idea. But then Ayaka Foodaway seriously went 5 under in her last 5 holes. She went birdie, 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 par, eagle to win the tournament. And there was some really, really long putts in there. So yeah, it was a great week. 4th major of the year. We have one more left. But I mean, what did y'all think about that week? Because I was there. It was incredible. But yeah, what did y'all think about it?
Two real quick points for me. Number one, Eagle to win a major championship. Sick. So good. So, I mean, it's obviously a few weeks in the rear view now, but that's number one that really stands out. And then number 2, Patty Tavatanakit, final round 63. You know, again, if you're going to come into the final round at a major, you're going to step on the gas and you're just going to keep climbing the leaderboard. You all of a sudden give the other leaders, you know, someone and something to think about. So Eagle on the last to win, and then Patty T 63 on Sunday. Two things that even now, a couple weeks later, are really standing out for me.
Yeah, for me, I just
Yeah.
think Steph obviously had a great week. She's been struggling all year, and I thought the same hope. Like, I was like, oh, she's going to do it. She's going to do it. And then Ayaka.
I know.
Boom.
Boom.
I mean,
She's
absolutely
like, get out of my
insane,
way.
but obviously, as we all know, she has just played so solid this whole year. I mean, there hasn't been a tournament where I've been like, she might not win this week. Like, I've had her in the back of my mind every single week.
I know.
So I hate when people say she deserved to win, but I'm not surprised.
She kind of did.
And I'm pretty pumped because
She
it was
kinda
her
did.
first major, so that's just really cool. Very happy for her.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that in our podcast that week, I thought about picking her because I had a thought in the back of my head and I was like, I feel like I've picked her multiple times. And at this point, it's just like, you know, like a scapegoat. Like, I'm just like, yeah, it's probably going to be Ayaka. And then she won. And
That's
I was like,
I
dang
get it.
could've
That's how I
picked
feel
her.
about Allie this week. I was like, I feel like I want to say Allie, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to say Allie because I keep saying Allie.
Allie's winning
Right.
this week. 100%, like auto. Allie's winning this week. Auto.
I'm all in on
Yeah.
that. But what about Lauren, guys? Come on now.
My husband says Lauren, so and he
Okay.
knows. So we'll see.
He knows. He knows his stuff.
I just think Lauren's been trending, so it's gonna be an interesting week for sure.
Definitely. Well, like we said, Great week. I feel like it was a good like little preview of to see what's to come the rest of the year. And then obviously last week we had the Dana Open at one of the longest standing tournaments on the LPGA Tour schedule. I That was actually my very first tournament I ever went to as an LPGA
Whoa.
employee. So I know I wasn't there last week, but it does like hold a special place in my heart because it was the first one I ever went to. But we already talked about it, Emma. You were there. You had a nice little top 30 finish. I'm sure you've played that course a lot. So what happened? Like what went down last week? Shanetti Winnasayan won, and also another crazy win, which we'll talk about that in a second. But how does last week's course kind of translate to this week?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think the golf courses, Toledo is very tight. You got to hit the fairway. The rough's pretty thick out there. It's tree lined. So considering that, this golf course is the same. Like you've got to hit it in the fairway, especially because I think that the greens are going to get pretty firm and fast. So like being in the fairway with your iron and approach shot is going to give you much better chance of holding the greens. Whereas like if you're in the rough, it's just going to be a disaster. So I just feel like the vision, like how the golf course looks and what it's going to look like off the tee is very similar to last week. However, in saying that, I think because of all the travel that's happened, I mean, let's just go back for a second. Michigan, Spokane, Michigan, Evian, Toledo, Ohio, and then all the way back over here. And then next week we're going south. So I do think some of the girls that are rested, I think that's going to be another key component to success this week is someone who's well rested, who has their game intact, because it's just been a lot of golf lately. I've seen a lot of players withdraw, which we're hoping one more, but I think people are just genuinely tired. I think it's been a long year, and like you said, we're not into the nitty gritty yet. We got Olympics, we got Solheim, we've got so many things going forward. So this golf course is exciting. I'm excited to see it today. The Dana Open holds a special place in my heart. I played it as an amateur, and it was just a really great tournament. I hope, like, other than the Canadian Open, as an American event, there's so many fans, and it's like this cute little town, and everyone comes out and
cares so
supports.
much about it.
It's so great, and I love it, and it holds a special place in my heart as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a great tournament.
Well, Shanetti, so this was another event.
She took off.
It was crazy. Every single day I was like, is she gonna fall? Is she gonna fall? And then she never did. I mean, 4 back-to-back, all good rounds. And on the final day, she birdied 17 and 18 to avoid a playoff with Hate on You. And she won. And this was her second win. She won last year in Portland. Speaking of Portland, it's coming up. And before Portland, she had missed 9 cuts. And then this year, I don't think anyone necessarily expected her to win this week. And she even said, I didn't expect myself to win this week, because she said she didn't play well here last year. So really good week.
Just never know.
Yeah, you never know. That's what we've kind of talked about. But that kind of leads me to our KPMG performance insights, because you never know. There's a lot of people who have not won but have had a lot of good finishes. So Adam, take it away.
Yes, this week, KPMG Performance Insights is all about the nearly there, not quite across the finish line. So the most top 10 finishes without a win on the LPGA Tour since 2022. So these are the players who have been pretty close but haven't quite been able to lift a trophy yet. So we've got Allison Lee and Carlotta Saganda. They've got 12 apiece. Then we've got Lexi Thompson. She's had 15 top 10 finishes without a win since 2022. Lexi in the field this week, CPKC Women's Open, her final CPKC Women's Open. She got 15 top 10s the last 2 years. Then we've got Heijin Choi with 16, and then Janet Lin with 17 top 10 finishes over the last two seasons without a victory. Been there, almost done that, very close. But to both of your points about you never really know when it's going to be your week or how or what's going to make it your week. You need a little bit of luck as well. These players have been there, been close, but just haven't quite been able to do it. So we'll have to see if this week at Earl Grey Golf Club is going to be the week for at least some of them who are actually in the field this week. Earl Grey, quickly on CPKC Women's Open.
Yeah.
Earl Grey, about 15 minutes from downtown Calgary. Calgary's the fourth or fifth biggest city in the country. It hosts a PGA Tour Champions event every year. The city of Calgary does. So a lot of really diehard golf fans. It's a short season here. We're pretty much up in the mountains. The golf course itself, like Emma said, is very tight. It's kind of carved through some mature trees and the greens. The second shot golf course for sure this week. So watch out for someone who's been trending with the ball striking and who's going to be good with the putter. I played the golf course for Media Day a couple of weeks ago. The greens incredibly subtle flex, incredibly quick greens, green sights, kind of the bunkering, the rough around the greens. Really a second shot golf course. So ball striking to be key this week, putting to be key this week, and one thing that Emma certainly can maybe speak to a little bit more, at least having around here at Mickelson National for the Monday qualifier. We're in the mountains. We're 3,500 feet above sea level. So some of these players who are going to have to really tighten up their yardages, dial in, how far they're hitting the golf ball. That's going to be something that's going to take a lot of time on Tuesday and Wednesday before they tee it up on Thursday. So watch out for the short games this week. Going to be key. Dialing the numbers for those second shots also going to be key, given that we're at elevation. So a really supportive membership. Hitting it straight,
and
yeah.
Putting good.
So like everything, basically.
You got to have it all. It's a first time championship venue, but it's going to be a nice test for sure. And to Emma's point about where we're at in the season with respect to just tiredness and et cetera, I don't, as it stands right this second as we're talking, I don't think that we're going to have a really deep winning score this week. Obviously, these players are good. I could be completely incorrect.
You never know.
But given the layout, given the time of the year, given the heat as well, we've got some wildfires burning just kind of north of the province coming down. It's going to be smoking hot, no pun intended. And the wildfires are going to kind of impact a couple things as well. So tiredness, heat, high heat at elevation. Yeah, it could be a tough week for sure. Maybe, Emma, you don't want to get in the field. I don't know.
I do.
She said, "Don't get it twisted."
Don't get it all twisted. Yeah, exactly.
I do.
So there you go.
It's just cool because I think for me, like hearing you say what you need to be really good at this week, I'm like, oh, I can do it. I can do it. So yeah, it's hard as a player, like when you feel like your game's good and you're not getting the starts. But was happy to finally do something next week. But I'm excited for the week, and I feel like just from what you said, Adam, tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like a lot like Solheim in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like the Solheim and Shaughnessy, where last year's CPKC Women's Open was, they've got a lot more of those, the mature trees, the Solheim kind of situation. Shaughnessy and Solheim, very similar in that regard. Earl Grey, not sort of as much, but you got to
same vibe.
Same vibe. You got to find the fairways. You got those second shots, like I mentioned. That's going to be key. And then it's still it's a national open. It's the 50th playing of this tournament. Like it's the 2-time tournament of the year, back-to-back wins as tournament of the year in 2022 and 2023. So a lot cooking this week for sure. And then Brooke, just the queen of Canada, doing her thing. So
literally the
queen. We'll see. That's kind of a maybe hope. Maybe you want to take it from there. Just talking about players who are trending and some notables to watch for the rest of the week. But obviously Brooke, from the tickets to the tents, Brooke's face is everywhere, and I think that she's been handling kind of the compartmentalization of kind of being Brooke Henderson, the person, and then being Brooke Henderson, the golfer. She's handled it pretty well over the last couple of years. But it's not easy. Like this is a unique. It's a unique situation for somebody on the LPGA Tour to have the whole of a country kind of on their back, have an LPGA Tour event in that person's country, and no matter if it's in her hometown in Ottawa or all the way out here in Calgary, like a lot of people, the majority of the people are out here to watch her. So it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot for her, and she's played pretty darn well at this tournament over the last couple of years too. So
Yeah, she has. I mean, she's won it before,
Exactly.
so
Got that
not,
off her back.
Not bad,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Really the best it gets. And I will say some of our Canadian fans are like the best, and they are the most dedicated fans. Like I know when Brooke Henderson is like contending in a tournament, it's like one of those things where it's like everybody figure out how Canadians can watch because they're going to be commenting, and we need to figure out how they can watch
Put it
this
on
tournament.
now.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, literally. So, but yeah, the top players in the field this week are going to be Lilia Vu, Minji Lee, Shiyu Lin or Janet Lin, Allison Corpuz, and Haydon Yu. So those are the top players in the field. And of course, we got Megan Kang, who won this tournament last year. She has been on tour since 2016. And she hadn't gotten a win yet. She'd played in multiple Solheim Cups. She's contended in so many tournaments, but last year was the year that she got it done. And what a place to do it at the CPKC. I mean, what a win. She went into a playoff with Jin Young Ko. And I remember watching just being like, oh my God, like, Megan, you got to get this done. Like, you got to win this because I love Jin Young too, but I really wanted to see her pull through and win that week. But I actually want to talk a little bit about the tournament itself, just how great they are and what an amazing tournament they put on. I know one thing for sure is that they put on quite the show for the caddies, which I think is so cool.
That. Should I bring out like
Yeah.
a tee that they get? Like, it's so great. All the levelware gear. Like, Patrick came home last night. He's like, look what I got. I got a hat. I got a sweatshirt. I got
Aw.
a t-shirt. Like, it's so great. And you're
Yeah.
right. Like, they have like a barber shop. They have like a massage table. I mean, they
Yeah.
go all out for the
Yeah.
caddies.
The Levelware Caddy Lounge is a great activation. They do it on the PGA Tour at a bunch of tournaments, and they've obviously brought it to the CPKC Women's Open too. And yeah, Emma, you're exactly right. They got a barber, they got and there's a luggage thing as well. Like if caddies got no luggage, like they've got this Levelware can basically give you everything from shirts, sweaters, underwear, socks, belts, like
Wow.
the whole shebang. Like if you're kind of out of luck,
Stuff
so
did it. Yeah.
That's so
they do
cool.
a good job.
I love that. Actually, I don't know. This is like a hard launch on the podcast, but my boyfriend is a caddy on tour. I don't know if people are aware of that, but he actually texted me yesterday. He's there in Canada, and he was like, I just got out of the car and I already got a haircut and I already got a massage. I was like, you know what? Good for you. You deserve it.
And he already
Yeah.
met Adam.
It is a grind.
And he already met Adam Stanley as well, which was
He did. You both texted me at the same time and you're like, we met finally. I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
But no, glad that y'all could meet, and I'm glad that they treat the caddies so well. I love to see it. They have some of the hardest jobs out there, so
Big time.
good for them. But we have to do really quickly. We have to do our slays of the week. I don't know what my slay is, so I don't want to start.
I'll start.
Adam, you
I'll
start.
start.
No,
Oh,
Emma.
Emma starts.
Emma starts.
Mine's
Yeah.
obvious. I played really well
Go.
finally. I had 4 solid rounds, even par, better every single day last week. So very solid. So I was pumped about
Love
that.
it. As you should be.
Thank you. And my
Adam?
mom was with me.
Oh,
That's special.
I love
Yeah, it was
that.
special.
That is very special.
We are recording this podcast on Tuesday, and I am going to be making my Golf Channel debut on Tuesday. Yes.
What
It's your
up?
debut?
The 4 p.m. Eastern Golf Central, so it's Tuesday, like I said. So I'm going to be doing a little segment all about Canadian golf and the CPKC Women's Open and the President's Cup and Brooke. And I'm very excited. So I'm making my Golf Channel debut here on Tuesday as we record this. So later on in the day, I'm going to be on Golf Central. So I can't wait.
Woohoo!
Let's go.
No one
My
better.
sleigh is not that exciting. Yeah, I completely agree, though. I can't wait to tune in. I'm going to be cheering you on from Orlando, Florida. But that kind of brings me to mine because it's quite small, to be honest. But it's just nice being at home and getting to do like homey things. Like last night, I went and played pickleball with my roommate, and then we went and ate some sushi, and then I got to prepare for this podcast in the comfort of my home, which I am having FOMO not being there in Canada, but at least I'm getting to do like fun stuff here. So that's my
It's important
sleigh.
this time of the year.
Yeah.
Self-care.
You gotta rest. And Emma, take notes. You need to rest at some point.
You don't really get to do that
She
as a
said-
tour pro. Rest comes later
She's like, I
in
don't
life.
know about all that. Fair. Okay, well, now it is time for our quick nine. And I am actually going to start, I never start the quick nine, but I feel like it can kind of tie into y'all's quick nine as well. So to start, the Olympics. I feel like I've talked about the Olympics every week, but I'm so excited for the Olympics, which, by the way, have y'all watched the Simone Biles documentary on Netflix? Because I'm starting to watch it and I recommend it to everyone. She is an American hero and I don't care what anyone says. But anyways.
Real quick, I was just talking to somebody
Yeah.
yesterday about Simone Biles and like the human body, like the way that she manages to do what she does with the
Yeah.
body. And she is a human being, not unlike the three of us. And yet her, like I said, her body and the way it moves, and it's it's unbelievable. It's
I
incredible.
don't understand
yeah, it's
it.
crazy.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like she has little springies in her feet, but she doesn't. She's normal, like you said. But yeah, sorry. The Olympics is coming up, and I love to see it. There are already people in Paris or heading to Paris, and like we talked about in a couple episodes ago, Adam, a lot of these players are going to want to be Olympians. You know, they didn't really get to do that so much in Tokyo just because of COVID and everything. So I saw Alban Valenzuela, who was walking around like the Olympic Village and doing all of the fun stuff. And I also know that Maya Stark is heading to Paris. And so it's going to be really cool to see just all of their content and the opening ceremonies and all of that. So very excited for that. And then my second one is the Solheim Cup. It is also quickly approaching. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. And a quick little update, the three players for Team USA that have mathematically already clinched are Nelly, Lilia, and Allie Ewing. Let's go. So very excited.
Friend of the
Go
pod.
USA.
Oh.
Yeah, friend of the pod. I can't really be biased, but I'm kind of biased. But
Go
the
Europe.
4 spots after them, go Europe. Calm down, Adam. Calm down. Four people after them in the U.S. rankings are Allison Corpuz, Megan Kang, Lauren Coughlin, and Andrea Lee. So I think there's a lot in the air, like up in the air. Everything's going to be finalized the week of AIG Women's Open. And then for Team Europe, right now, the 2 top players are Charlie Hull and Lynn Grant. So lots to be determined. And then my last one is Heidan Yu. She had a 2nd place finish last week, almost won. She definitely did not lose the tournament. Shinetti just won it. So I think Heidan is someone that we definitely need to keep an eye on. She had a nice little finish at Evian and at KPMG, and I think she's going to win at some point this year. So
I do too.
keep an eye on her. Sorry,
You
that
kind
was
of
kinda
sold me
lengthy,
on
but
that. Was
There
going
was
to be one
nothing
of
quick
mine.
about those. So speaking of Olympians, quick shout out, Elena Sharp. You know, Elena, 43 years old, going to be an Olympian for the 3rd time. The last time the CPKC Women's Open was in Calgary, she finished tied for 4th, which was her best ever finish on the LPGA Tour. So some good vibes there. And she finished in the top 20 last week on the LPGA Tour, eagling her very final, her last hole of the tournament on Sunday. So finished in the top 20, best finish on the LPGA Tour in at least a year, if not longer. So Elena Sharp, shout out to her. Age is just a number.
Let's go.
Stacey Lewis as well. I know, Emma, we were going to talk about Stacey a little bit, but another really, really good finish. The El Capitan was putting in some nice work last week. Funny story, I heard that when they were waiting for luggage this week, her daughter accidentally pressed the luggage stop button, emergency stop button, and had to like get the employees back out to reset the whole thing. So kind of funny.
No way.
Not that funny, but still a little bit funny. And then last thing I heard, Aditya Ashok, obviously going back to the Olympics again, but she's playing Portland next week and is going from Calgary to Portland to Paris and is like the only
Let's
person
go.
to do that. And apparently she played Le Golf National the other week around kind of Evian week, so she's got a little bit of a preview in there. But she's going to arrive like the day before, and I think, as I heard, is she's like one of 2 maybe that's doing the Portland to Paris run. So shout out to her.
Wow.
Because that's that's a lengthy trip right there.
Yeah, big shout out there.
Okay, well, my quick nines have been stolen, so mine's going to be just off the top of my head. First of all, I'm going to say Hejin Choi. She's been kicking butt. She had a great finish last week. She was on your list, Hope, and I just think pretty soon she's going to just slide in there and do it all. Her game's really, really solid. She's very consistent. She hits the ball very straight, and she's a great putter. So I think this is a great week for her, and I really think that she could make Canada proud. My next one was going to be Stacey Lewis, but I'm going to go Maya Stark. She has been playing some great golf. She started her year off really hot, and she almost had a couple of wins in there. And then she had this break of like miscut, tied for, something. And then last week she had a tied for 13th. So going from now in the couple of weeks ahead of time, even Olympics possibly, I think she's someone to keep an eye on. And last but not least, I don't even know if I've told you this, Adam, but I'm going to just go back to myself. Why not?
You should.
Love it.
I am going to be the behind-the-scenes head person for the USA team for the Solheim Cup. So I'm excited to start doing some homework on that, and I've been very excited to see Stacey announce a player here and there, and she is going to be announcing on Tuesday of FM Global. So I'm going to be there taking some Polaroid pictures and stuff.
Let's go.
So I'm very excited.
Congratulations.
So those are my quick nines.
Love it.
Tremendous.
Those are great. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, guys, this is going to be a great week. Like I said multiple times, it's Adam's tournament. I really don't care what anyone says. So ready to watch your tournament, Adam. Yeah, and if everybody else wants to watch, you can watch on Golf Channel, and you can also watch on Peacock to see how these players fare at this tournament. So thank you guys for joining, and be sure to tune in, and thank you everyone for watching or listening. It's going to be a great week.
Y'all come back now, you hear?